Beamer, Benz, a Bentley. Beamer, Benz, a Bentley. Beamer, Benz, a Bentley. My jeans are never empty. Beamer, Benz, a Bentley. Beamer, Benz, a Bentley. Beamer, Benz, a Bentley. Your scheming don't affect me.
My new album, first off, is called HFM 2, The Hunger for More Part 2. Just picking up, from where the first album left off at, and it's a lot of similarities. For one, the way I recorded the record. The first album was recorded on a tour bus, and the ground was just all over the place, and that's why the album was so it reached such a broad audience, because I recorded it with the influence of so many different places. On Fire was recorded in London, Warrior was recorded in London, Karma was recorded in LA. So music marks time, and I kind of can remember where I was at when I put the records together. Same thing with this album. I've been on tour. I came off the European tour. Now we're on the States tour, the Invitation tour. So I'm able to write records in different cities, and just take little pieces, from the culture in the city. Whether it's looking out the window or just seeing landmarks and the people and the slang from that town. So it's a lot of similarities, man. And I kind of feel like it's a brand new start for me. I feel like any doubters that I had, I've convinced all over again. Not just with the success of my first single, but overall what I've been doing on the internet and through the mixtape market and just staying consistent. I put out 5 mixtapes in 1 year that are like albums. The hunger is still there, but at this point it's the hunger for more success, for continued success. So the album is definitely there's definitely some points where it's gonna remind you of the first joint, but I feel like lyrically and just all around I'm bigger and better as an artist. My comfortability level is just grown so much. Anything you do, on a consistent basis, you'll eventually you'll master that. And I feel like I'm getting real close to it. For the most part, I'm recording in my home. It's something I do even when I'm not working. That's my love. I've been doing this since 10, 11 years old. It's exciting for me. It feels like, I guess if a painter had a whole bunch of boards to work with, how he would feel. It's like new canvas.
Yeah.
Really, the Beamer, Benz, and Bentley record, it had a lot of shock value in it. For one, it was 2 New York artists that never worked with each other before. For 2, it was my first record coming back since my last album. And just proving everybody, holding my spot down, and I just feel like it was unexpected. So a lot of people didn't know about the record earlier on. It got added in New York radio in 4 days, you know what I'm saying? So now that I had the success with that, and I want to take the time to thank everybody that supported the record. Currently, we're about 440,000 sold on the record. So in a matter of weeks, I have a gold plat as an independent artist. In my situation, I'm on my 3rd album, and coming out of my deal with Interscope, it's been 2 years now. So I've been really, my mind has been real clear, just knowing it's just me. It's back to that relationship, me and my basement. You know what I mean? And that's always there. And as far as the split goes, it's amazing. A lot of artists want to speak on the numbers as far as iTunes and ringtones and things of that nature, because they wouldn't see it. That'll go towards their recoupment. With me, it's going to my pocket. So it's a beautiful thing. It almost feels like what's supposed to be mine feels illegal sometimes. And that just shows you how far off we were from what we were supposed to have, to where it feels like a blessing, because it is now. I just released my 2nd single called Any Girl with featuring Lloyd. That's on the street right now, and it's actually picking up faster than the first record. I think mainly the Beamer, Benz, and Bentley record, it had a lot of shock value in it. For one, it was two New York artists that never worked with each other before. For two, it was my first record coming back since my last album. And just proving everybody, you know, holding my spot down, and I just feel like it was unexpected. So a lot of people didn't know about the record earlier on. Like, it got added in New York radio in 4 days, you know what I'm saying? So now that I had the success with that, and I want to take the time to thank you know, everybody that supported the record. Currently, we're about 440,000 sold on the record. So in a matter of weeks, I have a gold plat as an independent artist. I released Beamer, Benz, and Bentley, I believe, like February 8th or 9th or something like that, and then I had left like a day or 2 days after to go overseas on the European tour. So I never really got a chance to hear my record break. I was just overseas getting all the calls, like, yo, and they're like, yo, such and such did it. Yo, such and such rapped over it too. Such and such did it too. And then it just turned into like 20, 30 names. And I was like, damn. You know, like, I've seen records that had that kind of impact when it was just the beat. You know what I mean? But in this case, it wasn't just the beat. It was the beat, and 90% of the rappers who rapped over it used my actual cadence. Like, their rap sound like my rap. You know, like their own rendition. So it was cool, man. In the beginning, I was like, yo, what the you know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Is my shit going? Like, are they blocking my, you know what I mean? But after a while, you know, I realized it just makes the record bigger. You know, so I tip my hat to everybody who actually did do something to the record. It just feels good, you know what I mean? That you're appreciated not only by your fans, but your rap peer at the same time. And I just, you know, it's cool, man. I look at it like it's a good thing. And then if they drop one that has that impact, I'm gonna be right on that joint too, jacket. You know what I mean? Because that's where it all came from. You know what I mean? From the mixtape formula that we created. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, I have to appreciate it. I think they have, you know, similarities. You know, I think we haven't had anybody, you know, from the female side has been so influential, you know what I mean, in a long time. You know, I think that's where all the fuss is coming from, you know. Lil Kim, I remember when I was in school, Lil Kim, shout out to Lil Kim, because she got me like, she got it popping for me like when I was coming up, you know what I mean? Because she was just saying things from the perspective of a woman that was like, I guess the self-confidence, the way she was coming across was making girls feel like whatever, you know what I mean? So I got my share ahead because of her, so shout out to Lil Kim. Yeah, but and Nicki, man, she just brings so much to the table, man. You know, I've seen like pictures where they, you know, she had like a similar the crotch picture with Lil Kim had. You know, obviously she, you know, she was inspired by her in some fashion. But they're both talented, man. You know, everybody gets their talent. You know, I love what Nicki's doing. I mean, I don't see why not. You know what I mean? Talent is talent. You know what I mean? I don't close my ear to nothing. You know, if it made sense, then, you know, I would be behind it 100%. But like I said, man, you know, that kind of talent comes around once in a blue.